All right, let's mute everybody. Welcome to another morning session here with GPGPY has just kept on falling here. Damn, look at that move. Kept on going down. There's no trade so far. Wasn't really looking at anything so far. Probably gonna wait here for a little bit. All right, let's see here. So daily has been going down. Let's take a look here first. Actually, I want to take a look at the gold, and I want to take a look at. I don't even know why I look at gold here anymore. Let's take a look at US 30 here. All right, and then what I want to look at is Forex Factory. Let's see this here. So we got core CPI news later on. That's about it. The interest rates were kept the same yesterday, but I mean, oh wow, US 30 came down. Stocks actually came down. So if I look at the pre-markets, I think pre-markets should be bearish, should be in the reds. Negative 500. This is a big deal over here. Negative 500. Interesting. All right, let's go back to the pair I trade. Looking at JPY here, I mean, what I basically, let's see here what we see here. Start off from the daily. Daily is bearish. Daily is coming down. Remove everything first. 4 hours is encountering some sort of a support down at this level around 135 400 because that's the point where it tapped into that price level and bounced up. So I mean the trend is bearish. Someone would say, okay, yeah, we made a shoulder, head, and another shoulder, and price came down. Okay, perfect, makes sense. Going down to the 1 hour time frame, it seems like we're just ranging. So if I remove this bottom zone and kind of streamline it like this, seems like it's ranging here. Yeah, I think we're just ranging here. If you do break up, I think this is going to be a good area where price may head off to 136 300. But other than that, we're just ranging. And if I look left here, let's take a look left. Let's just draw a line here to the left hand side. Okay, let's take a look left. Looking left, we have a support down at 135,286. Let's put a line over there for reference. And price actually tapped into here too. So this is another zone here, right? This is another zone below 135,570. And this is actually, this is like 26 pips away. It's a 26 pips away zone, and then this zone has like a whole liquidity area down over here, so it's like almost like 25 to 30 pips away. And then another one we have down at 134 800 to 134 700, right? So looking left, I'm figuring out these zones, right? It's really important. Ooh, Dustin is up today. What a change. All right, let's take a look at this chart. Support, 30-minute resistance over here, goat shit, sell in there. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. That wick fill, like, I mean, if price starts breaking down, I think I'm gonna be eyeing the same area here, this wick fill right over here. So that makes sense. GJ 4 hour, clean buys, 50 pip move. Looks good. I think if you do the same on the smaller time frame and kind of like narrow these zones out, I think it'll look much better. So it's pretty good. So in GJ so far, I'm just waiting here. Someone actually said yesterday to make the wicks a little bit brighter because they can't see the wicks. So I'm just gonna make these wicks a little bit brighter. This is making them a lot. This is making them uglier. Maybe if I can change the background to a little lighter color, like this. Yeah, like this, right? Looks good. Let's do this. Perfect. Um, all right. Let's take a look at your JPY. Your JPY also made a support. We made a support down over here. There's like a resistance up over here. Your JPY is just ranging. It's just in a bad range. I mean, this range, if you measure this range, actually no, this is a pretty good range, 38 pip range. Looking on the 30-minute chart, yeah, it's just dirty. It's not clean at all. I think the only clean move on your JPY is going to be a break above 121.850. That's it. 121.850. And then price will move up towards 122.240. So probably just going to wait over here. When you take a trade, do you open multiple positions or just one big size, just other partials? Depends. 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 You know, like if something's risky, I'm going to open one position and then I might add to it later on. But for the most part, I'm just going to open I might open like one or two positions. That's about it. So yeah, like right now we're waiting. Bias for GU, I don't know, you have to send a chart. You will have to send a chart for the bias on GU. GJ, a no clear bias, waiting to see what the market will do. Blue dotted lines represent area. Perfect. Makes sense. See what happens. Can you stream in 2K, 4K again, please? Yeah, you can change this. I mean, man, if you don't know how to use YouTube, why are you even on the live stream? I mean, you can change the settings by yourself. Oh, that's hilarious. Come on. You don't seem to look at the previous price data. Do you ever take that into account? I'm not sure what previous price data means. I'm not sure what that means. All I know is that currently price made a support, currently price made a resistance. If price breaks above this area, there's a very high chance we're going to see a retracement up towards at least 136,300. And if I measure that range is around 50 pips. So out of those 50 pips, I can easily get 15, 20 pips, something like that. So that's something I'm going to be looking out for here today. When waiting for price to break out of the range, is it a good idea to reduce risk? Well, it depends. It depends what you want to do. Like if you're trying to take an entry without a retest, and if you want to reduce risk, and you've never done that before, then I think it's a good idea to reduce risk. But if you're waiting for price to break out, and then you're waiting for it to do a retest to create like a bearish candle and then a bullish candle to confirm support, and if you're trying to buy after that, then again, it's up to you. If you've done that a lot of times, then you're going to go in with normal risk. But if you've never done that before, then you're going to decrease your risk. I mean, reducing risk, like it all comes down to how confident you are. If you're confident, you're going to go on with the same risk. And it's like, I mean, using risk is very, very personal. You know, it's up to you if you want to reduce risk or not. But traditionally, if something I'm doing for the first time, or I haven't done that enough, then I'm going to reduce risk on that. Might retest these zones. Yeah, looks good. It's kind of like the same thing I have. So now I'm looking at the smaller time frames to see where price may head off to. Ooh, Lorenzo, welcome, Lorenzo. Let's see here. Oh, this is gold. Clean candle to the left, 40 pip range. Waiting for it to break out here. Target Yeah, for sells, target down here makes sense on gold. Let's take a look at gold here. I think I had gold up right there. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, oh yeah, I have the same level here on gold coming down. If it comes down, it's going to come down towards, like 1727. So that would make sense. I think spreads are getting better on gold now, slowly. Mr. Amardeep has joined. Let's take a look at this chart. This is GJ again. Yep, no trade zone, waiting for price to break out. Also, same thing, waiting for price to break out here. GJ. It's funny how the zones are all the same now, and just gotta wait at this point. What time frame do you trade? I trade all time frames. I'm trading all the time frames. Like, you mean you're keeping all the time frames in mind, right? It's not a very specific time frame that you're trying to trade or whatnot. You're keeping all the time frames in mind. So just waiting for this hour candle to close. It's still got 12 minutes left, so I'm just gonna wait here. Do you use the pro account with Vantage FX? I don't know what the pro account is, but it's a normal ECN account. Another fun-filled day. Man, trust me, with these live streams, I don't get bored at all. Not at all. I don't get bored, not one bit. This is like my passion now. Do you think the news of USD will affect GJ in terms of volume? I think it will a little bit. It's not going to affect it a whole lot. You might see a bit of like spikes here and there, some sort of a big move up and down, but that's about it. It's not going to affect it a lot. Let's take a look at this chart here. This is EuroCAD 4-hour buys. Yeah, I think you'll need to look at the small time frames to see if we're creating a support or not for price to continue going up. USD futures are bearish. USD futures are bearish. That's what I've seen. If you go to pre-markets, you'll see that they are bearish. Hey, I've marked a mini resistance area around 3600, 136 from the Asian candles. What do you think? 136. Yeah, that area, that makes sense. But at the same time, I guess I'm anticipating maybe the volume from pre-New York or the volume from New York open to bring price back up to 136. 350. I mean, this area here makes sense. You're drawing a resistance here because this was held as support on the Asian session. So if you measure from here to down over here, it's going to be around, 20 pips. But that actually becomes like a minor resistance area, because that was a minor support area which got broken during, before London session, So I would expect volume to break through that area. That's something what I would expect. GJ, same charts. We have the same charts on GJ. Waiting for bullish candle to break off previous. Yeah, I think if you're looking for buys above this area here would be perfect. The funny thing is, I think it's going to be really important to wait for price to break on GJ because if we look on the daily, right? If you look on the daily, price has fallen this day, Thursday. Price has fallen Wednesday. Price has fallen Tuesday. And again, price has fallen Monday. So 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row, we've had heavy bearish momentum on GJ. So now when you look at the sessions here, it could be maybe like, price may start ranging here. I mean, right? So I guess I'm gonna wait for price to actually break out, actually like have a candle break and close above, and then try to take some sort of an opportunity. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna look at because GJ has had 4 days of continuous fall, so a ranging session is inevitable. So we're gonna wait and see. What necessarily classifies minor support from major support, the amount of time it touches? No, basically no. I mean, you have a major resistance up over here, because that's where this move started, right? Move came down, you had a major resistance up over here. So this is a minor resistance on the smaller time frame. If you look on the smaller time frame, this is a minor resistance. But if you look on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, so this is now the major resistance on the 4 hour, right? So this makes sense. And another reason why I think that GPJPY might do a retracement moving up from this move down would be due to the fact that the 4 hour candle here, it broke the high of the previous 4 hour candle, right? It broke the high of the previous 4 hour candle. So that increases the probability for price to continue moving bullish. When candles move up, they make higher highs and higher lows, right? So that's why I think it will continue moving bullish. Even if you look on the daily also tapped into this wick here to the left made on the 30th April, tapped into it. Because when price came back here on 30th April, it came up, tapped it, and rejected it. So now moving up and coming down, it tapped into this area here again. So now it's kind of like rejecting it. So if you look on the weekly time frame, weekly also this is a very, very strong resistance here made on 6th April and the 13th April. So it's coming down at the same level here. So I mean on the small time frames we may see a retracement up. So based on all those higher time frame factors, if on the smaller time frame, so this is what they say, right? Look on the high time frame for your bias and then look at the small time frame for confirmation. So now when we look at the small time frame, this is where we are looking for confirmations because we're looking to see if the candles will close above this area or not for price to continue moving up. So I'm kind of like waiting here. Yeah. Will you just enter once candle breaks or wait for support to be formed? I think I'm going to wait for support to be formed. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait for support to be formed. This week I've had 2 losses. That was first 2 trades of the week. After that I've had blue days. So I don't want to jeopardize my blue days with a red day. So I'm just going to wait. Let's see what happens. We shall see. What do you think about this trade? Let's take a look here. This is USD CAD price, waiting for price to go below support for sell, possible TP. Yeah, I think at the same time you also need to plan out buys. If you're going to plan out sells, also try to plan out buys because it's very important. If the sells don't play out and if the buys play out, you would know exactly why the buys played out. So that's very important. That's how you become fluid. So here I've planned out both buys and sells, and the charts I showed here for members, you could also see that they've also planned out buys and sells because you should always know when one thing's going to happen, when the other thing is not going to happen. Sometimes what's going to happen is that you're going to plan out buys and sells and you're going to be mostly focused on the buys, and if sells do play out, it's okay not to take sells, because maybe you're not experienced enough to take the opposite buys like that, but I think it's really good to plan out both things so you know exactly what's going on. Maybe a buy stop at 135.860. Yeah, maybe. I guess then then your stop is going to be below the candle that activates your buy stop. But I'm not going to be using a buy stop here. I'm probably just going to wait. Okay, let's take a look at this chart. This person said, everyone is selling GJ, I am buying GJ. Well, not everyone is selling GJ at this point. But yeah, this looks good. You've drawn arrows. You've drawn some pretty, pretty good, candles here. Big candles, small candles. So yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait for price to break above 135, 830 here. What does it mean when there's a lot of liquidity in the market? I've heard many people talk about it, but I still don't get it. CAD to crypto. Having liquidity in the market means there's a lot of fuel in the market. That currencies have a lot of fuel to move around. That's basically what it is. Ooh, wrong chart. Wrong chart, my friend. All right, let's take a look at this. No trade zone, 1 hour resistance, 4 hour resistance. Where would you place a stop loss? 20 pips seems. I don't know. I mean, the stop loss depends on when you take the trade, right? Like when you execute the trade, then you decide where your stop loss is going to be. I mean, right now price is just ranging. So once it starts breaking out, and then I mean, who knows what candles is going to break out? We don't know that yet. So we can't really talk about a stop. I mean, if you're taking a buy right now, your stop is going to be below the 30-minute candle, and it is what it is. If it's 20 pips, then I guess you have to reduce your lot sizes, basically. GJ's range coming up. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. I'm actually looking at the same thing. I think if you zoom in a little bit, you will see some more information. Like you'll see information like this. Because when you're trying to take a trade in this area, you don't need to know what's happening all the way over here, or all the way over here. You don't need that information. This is one mistake people make. I mean, if you're trying to take a trade in this small area, you don't need to know what's happening over here, over here, over here. This is just not good information. So you need to zoom in what's happening right now. So like how I've zoomed in right now, because I want to focus on what's happening in the moment right here. If the 1 hour closes bearish, can we look at it from a bearish perspective, like it's making lower highs or lower lows? Yeah, for the 1 hour to continue down, I want it to break below 135, 600. Yeah, I want it to break below 135, 600. When it's in this range is a no trading range for me. The best thing I've learned here is how powerful focusing on one pair is. Yes, exactly. That is true. Focusing on just one pair will eventually make you lost, because like when you start trading, you have your market watch on the side, right? And on the market watch, you have so many pairs. And when you have so many pairs on the market watch, then it becomes really, really hard to really focus on one pair. So I think it's really important just to focusing on one pair. It just gives you so much clarity. Let's take a look at this chart. So many charts here today. Euro JPY 30-minute buys above this area to 122, 100. Sells below this area. I think buys above 122, 121, 870 would make much more sense. Yeah, above this area here. Above this area right here would make sense. Buys above that area. Because then you have clean traffic here to the left hand side. So see, the 1 hour candle closed. 1 hour candle closed like a weak bullish candle, so there's nothing right now. Someone said seems like GJ has the C word. Can't really say the C word, so Yeah, we can't say the C words anymore. All right, let's take a look at this chart. Gold 30 minute. Yeah, I think this is a bad trade because this candle closed with no wick at the bottom. I mean, little to no wick. There's a support over here, so yeah, I guess you'll have to wait a little bit. Yeah, it was a support over here. You need to see a bearish candle forming here and then take a sell. I was trading a London session today and noticed that we got a perfect 15, 30 and 1 hour confirmation of sells, but price didn't break the lows of the previous candles. Yeah, sometimes that's going to happen. I mean, if you were trading in London, oh yeah, okay. It didn't break down. It is what it is, man. It just started ranging in the London session then. I think London session wasn't as good. I mean, if people caught this move down, I mean, it was good, but other than that, I don't think anything happened. It just ranged. Let's take a look here. I think there was some emergency news here. Waiting for candle to break above, break and close. Makes sense. Similar for bearish scenario to get a tight stop loss. Yeah, makes sense. Let's see here. Crow does. Oh, this happened in a London session. No wonder there was a spike. Bank of Japan. Why do all these banks do these announcements after they close? I mean, they should just stay home. I guess Monty called that stress-free trade this morning. Let's take a look here. Range. Price is currently ranging at support. I'm not saying we could call a bottom, but price has printed 3 bearish candles. Yeah, I'm looking at the same things here. Kind of like ranging. Could be like a ranging day here today too. Yesterday FMC was the move for GG. I didn't plan on trading, but I saw it set up. Yeah, I think we caught yesterday. Yesterday was pretty good. There were a lot of people we caught sells on GPJPY. They ran really nice. It's beautiful. To put things in perspective, I'm not looking at anything right now because everything's just this is proper goat shit right here. Goat shit. Is AUDCHF short or long? I think you need to send a chart. You need to send a chart on those things. Raja G. Oh no, Raja GJ is not my favorite pair. Yeah, the thing is, when you focus on one pair, you start to understand its movements in that specific time frame, in that specific session, you know. So, like, I mean, let's say if someone focuses on your JPY, they will know exactly how your JPY moves in the New York session, London, and Asian, provided if they don't trade all those, you know, like if you only trade one session, you're going to start to really identify the movements. I mean, we've been trading GJ for the last 2 years on the live streams, only in the New York session. So, you know, I've learned to wait. I've learned to look for confirmations. I've learned a lot of things on GJ, you know, and I believe that GPJPY moves enough to really get you some comfortable, you know, gains. So I think I just focus on this. Could you have a look on the below 2 charts? Would like to hear your opinion about my decision to close the trade. Let's take a look here. Initial idea was this, was looking for a sell. Okay. Let's take a look at the next chart. Next chart was, okay, so you're looking for a sell over here, closed, open short position with stop loss above the previous wick. Nice. Yeah, I think it was pretty good. It's pretty good. It worked out. Beautiful. राजा जी तुमसे दिल लगाने की सागा है. Raja Babu in the house. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. Euro CAD. 1 hour candle closed bullish. I'm thinking you're taking a buy here, or you took a buy. Your stop is down over here. So yeah, looks good. Makes sense. Could continue go up to retest this high. At the same time, you might be looking at the 30-minute or the 15-minute to see if they're closing bullish or not. You know, man, Glenn, I trust your judgments. Like, if I had money to put on the line, I'd put money on the line with you because you look at every little detail and are very, very careful. Um, let's see here. Let's look at this chart. This is GJ 30-minute chart. This chart came straight from the gulag. I don't even know what to say about this chart. There's nothing, there's no labeling. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 EMAs. You have a big purple zone and lines. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing that could, I mean, I don't know, man. This is just not a good chart at all. I mean, if you look at this chart and if you look at this chart or this chart, difference, big difference. You know, so I mean, just please. I won't be taking this trade as I'm still getting used to NY session, but feedback is much appreciated. All right, let's take a look at this. Euro AUD, strong bullish throughout Asian session. A high was made and the retest came pre-London to create a new high. Okay, consolidation. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. You have all this range here. You're waiting for sells below this purple line, which makes sense. You're waiting for buys above this. Makes perfect sense. Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't take it personal. I was just explaining to someone about your track record. That's all. We paid, but only facts. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, but I closed the account at 50% gain though, Juve Gonzo. It was never blown. There was an account I took from, I started that account in June 2018. No, January 2018. Took it up to, took it down, almost blew that account, and then took it up to 50% gain. So, Juve Gonzo, you were wrong over there. I think it's on my Instagram too. I want to know how you manage your lot sizes because I've seen some days you go big lots and small lots. Yeah, it depends, you know. It depends on setups, depends on how I feel, depends on the confidence, it depends on like a lot of things. So, yeah, right now we're just kind of like waiting here. Nothing's important really happening here. Price is coming down to the support, so just have to wait. When NY session opens up, hopefully we'll get out of this range. Yeah, hopefully we're gonna get some break out of this range with volume. We'll see what happens. Do you ever exit a trade with slightly less than your 10 pip profit, for instance, price stops at 7 to 8 pips? Yeah, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I do close trades at like, you know, like 6, 7 pips, 8 pips, because if I see a zone or if I see price struggling. But most times before I close like a partial position. That's what I do. I close partial position. Regarding my initial question, I think you didn't got my point. Basically, I've closed the trade before it started to play out because of the bullish minute candle. You close it as well. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I know what you're trying to say here, Andre. Um, let's see here. So you took a sell on this candle, anticipating this to continue down. I think, I think at this point, so you closed everything. I think at this point you could have closed a partial of the position. Maybe you could have closed 50% or 75 because it still didn't come to your stop loss. So that's what I would do. I would close a partial of the position to see if it really plays out. Because most of the times when you're scared to close a position, you don't close the whole thing. Well, most times you close the whole thing and then after that you say, oh man, look, price went my way. But the most important thing is you need to close, let's say, partial, so that if price does go your way, you're still in that trade. You kind of like feel good about it. So that's what I would do. I would close the partial position. Oh, fake news. Someone is spreading fake news. Let's debunk that fake news. I'm going to debunk that fake news. Someone is spreading fake news about. Yeah, there's nothing going on right now. So let's see here. Took a 5 lot on my 1000 account in GJ because it said support. Thank you for analysis. Oh, nice. How many times have you blown a trading account? I think I've blown account 2 times. Once in 2016 and once in 2017, early 2017. And then after that, I haven't blown an account. But it happens, like in the start. I think in 2016, I blew the account when I was getting good gains and I got confident. And, with confidence, things happens, when you get way too confident. Does blowing $50 to $100 count as blowing account? No. I think $100, $50, it's too less of a number to really see how good of a trader you are. Because for most people, $50 or $100 is not a lot to shock them into discipline. That's something basically what I look at. Um, EuroCAD with the textbook setup. Yeah, I think we saw that chart on EuroCAD. That's why I said if I had money to put on the line, I'm going to put money on the line with Glenn here. Because Glenn sent this chart on EuroCAD. He took a buy, he sent this chart, and price went up 100%. I'm in GPCAD buys. Let me send chart. All right. Yeah, we're just waiting over here. We're waiting here, and Juve Gonzo is spreading fake news about me, man. Why? Why do people act like that? Why do people spread fake news? I think he works for CNN. All right, so GPJPY is coming down to the support. It hasn't broken support. It hasn't gone through support. It's just chilling over there. I'm probably going to wait for price to break and close below. Yeah, as you can see now, trading is not about taking the trades all the time. It's about just waiting. I'm just waiting here. But if we do break below, man, we're coming down to fill this wick here. I just don't want to take an entry right now because if I take an entry, I mean, I don't know. I can't take an entry right now because the 30-minute candle is still open. And if I take an entry, my stop is going to be around 21 pips, you know. So who knows? I mean, the only thing that I'm worried about is that price made a wick here before and over here too. So if I take a sell, price may come down and wick and then start to go back up. So that's the only thing I'm cautious about. So I'm just waiting. Do you think watching the 4 hour could be possible for a wick fill? 4 hour wick fill, yes. Yes, exactly. 4 hour could be like a wick fill. But I think for 4 hour to do the wick fill, you'll get confirmations on the smaller time frames that we're trying to come down. So I think that's going to be a good area to look at. Um, you seen those 5K monitors? No, not really. Haven't seen them. All right, so let's take a look at this thing here. Yeah, so I'd want to see a break. So this is a break coming. If you look on the 15-minute, this is the wick fill that we're talking about, you know, and this wick fill is around 20 pips away. On the 30-minute chart, I would want to see the candle close here and then kind of like, because like once price breaks and closes below, you know, 135, 600, that's going to be a new low formed, you know. So when a new low is formed, what's going to happen is then there's possibly going to be like a retracement for a minor resistance and then continuation. So I want to wait for a confirmation for a sell. I don't want to get into a sell over here because I've been burnt before, so I'm just going to wait. I'm not gonna force into an entry here, but I'm waiting, knowing that I might miss this trade. So that's something I'm doing too. So if I miss this trade, it's not going to be a big deal here for me. How did you overcome trading? I overcame trading just by chilling. Yeah. So we still got 11 minutes left for this 30-minute candle to close. So I'm gonna wait for that close here first. All right, so this is what Juve Gonzo was talking about. Oh, can't see it here. Juve Gonzo spreading fake news. I hate when people spread fake news without any context. So I'm trying to get this link over here. And this is, I think this is the right one. Oh yeah, this is it right here, right? So this is what Juve Gonzo was talking about, that I blew the account. This has started in 2018. This was a test. This was when I was testing the concepts to bring forward for market fluidity, right? So started January 6%, 20% drawdown, 21% drawdown. So you can see how it came down, came down, came down. July was the worst month, 57% drawdown. And then August was when the first version of market fluidity was released in August. The market fluidity 1.0, which was released in August. This is what people are trying to sell, is a 2-year-old webinar. You know, then it went up 62%, 42%, October, November, December, 200%. So you can see it came up to 200%. So, and then total was 198%. Then 2019 came, 2019, 22% down, 18% down. This is the point where I lost a lot of money in Quadriga exchange. So it started affecting my psychology. It started affecting my psychology. So I stopped doing the record because I had to build back. So Juve Gonta was saying that I blew the account, but it ended at 62% profit. So when people spread fake news, they're just jealous, man. They're just jealous. Yeah, people are just jealous. Euro CHF sells. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I this yeah, it could go down. I mean, you'd want price to respect this high. The only problem I have with this minor like consolidation here in the small time frames. But I mean, if you're expecting price to continue down with volume, then that could work. If you look at GJ, this candle still has 8 minutes left for to close, so just waiting. Let's see what gold is doing here. I think gold is taking this. Ooh, gold did come down. Gold actually did come down. This is what we were predicting too earlier on. Gold coming down towards 1726, 1727. Wow, I think it's another movement down. But to have like a track record, something like this publicly on Instagram, if you look, this is a whole year, one complete whole year. One complete month of January. So this is a long time. This is a long time which you can see in 5 minutes. This is a very, very, 1 year is a very, very long time. Most people don't understand that part. 1 year is a very long time. So before I released market fluidity, I really tested it. I really tested to see if it's really going to work, because I didn't want to have a product that's just gonna screw people over. I wanted to see if it really worked, and it worked. And then I was like, hey guys, hey guys, what's going on? Any comment on my first chart? Let's take a look here. Someone sent their first chart. Oh, nice, Lorenzo. You won for the day with gold. New Zealand JPY, buy if candle break close above days area, no sell range. I think New Zealand JPY should not be traded in the New York session. I mean, you could trade it, but at the same time, New Zealand is closed in New York session, JPY is closed in New York session. So I think you should only choose the pairs that are open in New York session. What do you think about putting stops above the previous 15-minute candle if we close below support for sells? So you're talking about having stops above the 15-minute candle for price to continuing down. I would say you can do that, but I personally think that would be a little bit risky. I personally think that would be risky, so I'm kind of like waiting. I'm waiting for maybe the 30-minute to kind of like close like a small bearish candle, so I have the opportunity to take sells to go down. But I'm just waiting for this candle to close, which still has 5 minutes left to close. What lot size would you be using on a $4,000 account with leverage of 1 to 100? I think I'm going to be using like zero point 0.4, zero point 0.3, zero point 0.4. That's what lot size I'm going to be using. 0.3, 0.4. Wow, gold actually moved 54 pips. You know, so even if you try to break down the move on gold, how you could have caught this move down. So this is what I do every time when I miss a move, right? I go back and I see how could I have caught this move. So maybe could have caught this move when this was breaking the low of the previous 30-minute candle with a stop at 27, 28 pips and TP around over here, you know, 20, 28 to 30 pips. Yeah, could have been really good. Are you taking the fake out on the 15-minute to the left into consideration? No, not at all. I'm just waiting to see how this candle is going to close, and I mean, I just want this to close below 135,600 and do like kind of like a retest and close like a small candle, so then I can take a sell. But taking a sell right now is going to be very risky. This is my last month in the gulag. After 3 months of being here every day, I'm ready for my. Someone is about to upgrade. Last month in the gulag. That's funny. Wow, I think US 30 is going to continue its bearish trajectory. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. Yeah, I think it's going to continue its bearish trajectory. I think this 4-hour is pulling up to continue pushing down. Look on the 1-hour. 1 hour is breaking below this minor support here. 30-minute as well. So yeah, I think it's going to continue.
Yeah, it's going to actually be really bad today. The futures is down like 2.5%.
Yeah, that's what I saw first thing. 500 points next, 600 points negative.
Yeah, so it's going to be a nice drop. So if people are looking to get in with US 30 once again, using session timing as a piece of information, you know, maybe the 8 a.m. hour might be a good push down if you're looking at that. The other thing is too, looking at 9:30 a.m. when the New York Stock Exchange is open, chances are this could potentially rally throughout the rest of the day and just close bearish. So you might be able to hold this the entire day. Two cautions when looking at US 30 is in the back of your mind, always keep this thought in your head, is when we're selling off the stock exchange, that's the equity market. So, you know, obviously the equity market is negative right now, so there's opportunity for you to take shorts on it. But as the market goes negative, we hit a point where buying stock looks attractive, which could reverse that whole move. So be very cautious when selling off like an indice, because at a certain point, that sale price is going to be good for institutional buyers, and they'll pick up those equities or that part of the indice at a lower price, and that'll start to drive the price up. So you have to be cautious when you are selling the indice and really make sure that as you start to sell, you lock in profits, but you keep an eye on the indice, the actual market itself, and news related to that market throughout the entire day, because this 600-point move can be reversed in an hour depending on what comes out in terms of fundamentals. And also, once again, like I said, with the market being cheaper to buy into, institutions will come in and drive the price up. So you have to understand that those are some factors that you'll be fighting against as you sell off this indice, just because we have that huge, I guess, almost 3% drop in the futures market, which will drop the Dow and rally it down a bit. So just keep that in mind. The other thing is too, the overarching feeling is this is a simple concept. Don't bet against the Fed. And the Fed being the Federal Reserve, we've noticed in the last 2 or 3 months since this pandemic, that anytime that there was instability with the US dollar, or there was problems, the Fed just printed more money. And that drove the market up because, obviously the government is intervening, giving the economy money and pushing equities higher. So when we see a drop like this, be very, very cautious as well that, if the Fed comes out and announces another stimulus package, or they talk about, hey, we're going to give these businesses money, we're going to bail these people out, that's going to drive the market up as well. So what we're seeing currently is a very counterintuitive market in terms of there's like no jobs, people are losing jobs, businesses are closing, but the market is at an all-time high. So just keep that in mind, that that's one of the major reasons is the Federal Reserve and the US government are propping up these businesses, injecting money, where technically from a market perspective or an economic perspective, they should be letting the free market run. So in other words, if a business is going to fail, they should allow it to fail. But in this case, they're not. They're trying to protect it because they feel that it would hurt the economy more than it would help it if the business failed. So just keep that in mind if you're trading US 30. It's very important, and you might find that this little rundown might be short-lived, and the uptick will be a little bit bigger.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this is just like a minor retracement in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, it seems that way because it did rally pretty hard yesterday with the FOMC statement. We did bounce up pretty high, and now we're pulling back again. So you might find that this is just a breather to go further up afterwards. But I mean, once again, we have the fears for the second wave of the virus. So we'll see what happens there.
Let's take a look at this here. This is sells below over here. Yeah, GG hasn't really closed enough for me to take a sell. I mean, 15-minute candle rejected that area. I mean, it's, I don't know, not really sold on these sells yet. GU took a sell on the open of this candle. Oh, nice. Squeezed some pips out of it. Man, Lorenzo had a trade on gold. It ran really well over here. Wow, very nice. Almost like a 100 pip trade. I wonder what they said in their press conference yesterday. Because in the start, I saw US 30 went up, and then this morning it just started coming down. I think it was, I don't know, it's pretty weird. This interest rate, it was pretty off. I mean, the way the price moved after that, it just didn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, it's very interesting. The fact that we had that pump, because I mean, essentially what he did was he did say that we have to be cautious with the economy, and the fact that it's going to take a while to recover, but he was optimistic. And then now it looks like the coronavirus has been taken over again.
I think that's also playing with the what's going on in the US as well, because like you had the riots, and then they're going to say, okay, well, because of the riots, now we're having a second wave of the virus.
Yes.
I think that's, yeah, man, this is such planned out manipulation.
Yeah.
I seen a headline yesterday. It said like 9 states have like outbreak and blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's very scary how they're setting that up.
Good morning. This is my chart in UJ. Let's take a look here. UJ, price retest support pre-New York. Took a buy over here. Stop loss below the previous candle. One thing to be cautious about is the previous candle had no wick at the top. So I mean, if you still get the 30-minute closing bullish, I think you may be well to maybe tighten the stop a little bit and letting it run towards the target. So target makes sense. Looking at GJ, you see GJ is still in this range. So just waiting over here. He ended the press conference after a reporter asked him if equities is in a bubble, blah, 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 and the press conference ended. Must have said, nope, not going to answer that. Have a good day. Man, this was a gigantic move. Gigantic move. I mean, it went up what? How many points is this? 162 points? Oh,
Yeah. I think the pump came because of the news. Rates stayed the same, so that sent the sentiment of the market for a push.
Was
but
positive.
Then when the press conference started, he started with the fear of the second wave of coronavirus and all stuff. And he said that the economy is going to recover, but it's going to recover at a slow pace. So that's pretty fishy.
Yeah, that's what I said yesterday. Someone was asking me, okay, would it be a good idea to trade on there? I'm like, yeah, you can, but the main thing that's going to happen is what they will say in the press conference. That's like, in my language, you say like that's the real mudda, like that's the real I don't know, issue. Yeah, ingredient.
Yeah.
The real mudda.
Gold's in an interesting spot. We rejected off 1734 pretty hard. I'd like to see how the next major candle forms, the next hour candle, because we might drop back into, I would say 1717. So if this is enough pressure for us to drop, the reason why I'm looking at that is you got gold up right now, which is good. What I'm watching is oh shoot, I just clicked the wrong button. There we go. This area here, we pulled down. This we pulled down, and it seems like we're doing the same thing. So I'm going to watch to see the reaction around here, and then I think we have a nice target in this area over here, like right down over here, and then eventually into this area here. I think we have a target. So what I'd like to see is the next candle sort of pop up a bit and then drive. So this wick being filled and then driving into this area here. So I'm going to wait for that. If we can get that move. So it seems like 1734 was a very strong resistance. Just looking at the daily charts, we never really broke above that. So I want to see if we can get a reaction around there.
Man, I haven't traded gold in so long. I feel like I'm out of touch on gold the way it moves now.
The thing is with gold, what I'm looking at is the fact that we rallied really hard, and this is something that if someone trades gold a lot, what they'll see is we rally very hard with gold, and then what ends up happening is for the first half of the year we go one direction, and the second half of the year we go the opposite way. My sentiment here is because we're in an election year with the U.S. economy, there's obviously going to be a little bit of instability. But as we travel towards November, what you may find is whoever gets elected, if that is a positive sentiment for the U.S., gold may rally down a bit, because now sort of the economy will have a new, I guess the country will have a new leader, or a renewed leadership, that will allow them to prosper again. I mean, that's usually what happens with most elections. The stability comes back because now, there's renewed optimism, so to speak. So that may push gold a bit further down. I mean, it's hard because of the fact that everything's so unstable. But at the same time, when we think about the laws of supply and demand, gold can only rally so hard up before it has to take a breather to go down and then rally again that direction, right? So if you look at gold on a daily, you can see gold's dropped in 5 days. It can drop all the way from 1730 to 1695, and then in 3 days it rallies back up again. So it's just something to keep in mind, that if we are ranging between 1734 and 1700, that the 1734 is a resistance area, so we may rally back down into the 1710s, 1711s, and then rally back up further higher, after in the next week or so. So it's just something to keep in mind if you're watching the daily range and you're looking to trade that.
Yeah, I think that's also something like what happened when Trump came in too. Because like when Trump came in, gold rallied and then it started dying because the optimism changed that, okay, now Trump is going to make things better.
Yes.
So the US started getting stronger. Yeah. What's this chart here? Oh, what's this? Not buying GP caps, looking for sells now. Yeah, I think you need to sell below this gray area here. Yeah, I think you'll need to sell below that area here. It's very risky. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, this is going to be personally my second election year while trading. Finished the whole four-year cycle.
Yeah.
With the new president.
Pretty crazy, isn't it?
Man, it's nuts. I mean, I don't even know who else gonna bring this much volatility to the market.
Yeah, it's funny because when we look back at, when we were trading, back in 2017, and Trump was in there, and we that was the first thing that we said was, man, Trump's gonna make FX great again, and he did.
Yeah.
Like it was really fun having Trump in there, and we had a good time.
Yeah, every time Trump would tweet, Trump would come on the news, start speaking. Next election is this year somewhere, if they don't postpone it.
Yeah.
Trump is pushing really hard to postpone it. 30-minute resistance, 30-minute support. Yeah, I think you're forcing a support over here. I think your support should be down over here.
Is there like a list for the vehicles that need to be done here? No,
all the vehicles. All the vehicles. All right. You're doing all the vehicles today.
I think down is gonna fill that previous wick on 15 minute, and it's gonna create a new low.
I'm watching because we're coming into a consolidation area on the
Yeah.
hourly, so we may react over there.
Yeah.
So we got back on June 3rd all the way to June 5th, we had consolidation, all in that mess yet. So that's going to be an interesting spot.
GJ short 1 hour for 60 pips. Wow, 60 pips. See, personally, what I would want is I would want this 30-minute candle to close bearish, and then I'm going to execute a sell anticipating the New York Open to keep pushing it further down. That's what I would want.
think GJ, if you had traded it, if you had tried to set yourself up overnight over the Asian session, I think that would have been a better opportunity. I was able to catch the move throughout Asian into London. I
Oh,
got in
nice.
I got in at 136, 170, and then I take profit at 135, 359. I went to bed and just put take profit.
All right, so we're seeing a continuation here.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so it should continue down again.
Yeah.
The good thing is, if you look on the daily, there's a nice big candle on the daily that's very nice clean traffic. So this candle here should be mirrored. I think we should get that whole move into it, because we're coming we're right in a zone right now. So this area here being a little bit of a rejection zone to go down. With that being said, because we have bearish momentum, this zone we should pull right into it all the way back. And we did originally in the London session, and now New York should carry on. And also to keep it in mind, the way that the currency pairs rally towards the end of the London market, things of that nature, we should get a bigger push. If you've been noticing this, we've been getting a push a lot lately at like 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock has been a lot of big moves lately, where we didn't get that with earlier on in the last couple of months. But lately, I've been actually taking trades later on in the morning. It just seemed a little bit safer, especially with like DGI or like with US30 and things like that.
Yeah, GG has been moving a lot later on, like once you move off NYC
Yeah,
open.
once we close the stream, it moves like a million pips. So I've been watching that as we left the stream, things like that.
My phone starts beeping, ping, ping, ping. Hey bro, did you caught that move? Hey bro, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, I did see that. Whatever. Thoughts and directions for GJ. Let's take a look here. I think if you do the same thing on the 30-minute chart, you'll have a much cleaner analysis if you do this on the 30-minute chart. Like here, see, it's so clean. On the 15-minute, you see a lot of information, and it's just like all like bad information here. So 30-minute makes sense here. Can someone guide me how to send this chart? Yeah, you need to click this camera button, and then you'll get this link, and then you can send the chart.
That retracement on gold was about 70 pips. God damn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the next hour, this was the initial tap, and the next hour will pull up a little bit, and then we'll start to fill this candle if we're meant to go down. That's why I always tell people with gold, you have to wait. You can't take market orders like that because you would have just been blown out of the water just like 5 seconds ago. Really plan out the trades and really see the market and see what's going to happen. I mean, if we do rally down, you'll get the notification. You'll see that the next hour candle will create a wick up, and then we'll start to push down. That's when you start to look at taking a gold sell at that point. The other thing is too, the opposite end is if we push down right away, you might want to put buy stops above the where this current wick is, maybe at like 1730, and ride back up to 1734. So you have multiple options there. The idea once again is try not to take market orders with gold, and what I mean by that is don't just look at the chart and say, okay, this is I need to take a trade, because it will really blow you out of the water. You really need to plan your trades and really time them well in terms of when the candles are closing, like the hour close, maybe a 4-hour close, understanding that, because if you get caught just trying to trade off a one time frame, gold will really hurt your account because it'll just reverse or hit you the wrong way and you're basically done. there's no sound because nobody was talking.
Gonna close down Jones right now. I took a short. Small but surely short.
Yeah, that 15-minute candle ran pretty good.
Yeah. That was the play I wanted. That's it.
Yeah, you can see right now, like the pound. I think we should continue on to like probably 135, 300 right now with the pound. So
Yeah,
we
I
should-
think so too.
I don't have thoughts on things unless people show charts. We are trying to create a community of thinkers, so you need to provide charts. I don't give thoughts unless I see charts. Do you have any stocks that you own? Yes, I own a bunch of Tesla stock because I drive the car. I am not in any trades because it is 7:52 in the morning and I will be waiting for the New York market open, or the Forex market open, which is at 8 a.m. in 7 minutes, and then I will evaluate. Should we take a trade on GJ? Yeah, you can take a trade anytime you want. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the correct trade, but you can do anything you want. That's the best part about trading. So if you feel that you want to enter GJ right now with 5 minutes before the hour close, hey, all the power to you. Just make sure you manage your risk.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for GJ. What's this? Oh, nice. I think you won the trade. Didn't really say it clearly, but yeah, I think it. I don't know. Pretty hard to say. I'm in no rush to take a trade on GJ. I'm waiting for this candle to close. No rush at all. Oh, I guess US30 did come to where Kervin. Because Kervin said so. How much was this move here? This was... Oh, 100-point move. Wow. Looks like US30 is giving out 100-point moves, no problems.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Free money.
You better go in the right direction with the Dow Jones. If not,
Yeah.
trust me, it's gonna be a headache.
Yeah, the only thing I trade with the like US30 now, I've been trading like 15s and 25s. Like that's the most
Yeah.
I'll go. Like I did 50s once and
Mhm.
never again. It's too stressful in terms of
I
because I mean
know.
it goes back like 10 or 15 points. You're in like a $40,000-$50,000 drawdown.
Mhm.
Like it's insanity. And,
Yeah.
and you know that it pulls back hard. Like you know that US30s, the way the characteristics that it is, it pulls back very, very hard. So when you look at that, you're just like, man, I don't want to be getting whipsawed around. I rather add positions as we're dropping or as we're going up. Like that's the safer route, man. But for me to load up on a larger lot size, no. I dropped my lot size. I was much more comfortable. I'll take, because it moves so fast. I mean, with a 15 lot trade, you can pick up 10,000 within like minutes. So I mean, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this to close and then I'm gonna look to take shorts for continuation down towards 135, 300. I think that'll be pretty good. 135, 300-ish. Don't wicks on the left bother you for your sell setup. That's up to you. I mean, if they bother you, then don't take the trade. I mean, for me, it is. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. If it goes down, I win. If it goes up, I lose what I planned on losing, right? So. Just kind of waiting here. The worst thing is when you're waiting and you miss the trade. You're like, oh, GJ, come on, GJ. In the last 2 minutes, you decided to go down. And then you can do them, but just like laugh it off, right? Just like, ha ha ha, GJ.
Yeah, I think there's a common theme with a lot of traders is when they see the market moving in a certain direction, they feel as though that they need to catch that trade because that's what their bias was or that's what they were looking for. And there's going to be a lot of instances where the market's going to move in that direction that you were looking, but it's not safe for you as a trader to trade. Like there might be a lot of consolidation to the left. You might be at the wrong time during the markets. People have to get used to that. People have to get used to watching trades move in their direction, and it's just not possible for you to take a trade. And I think when you get to that level of consciousness and that level of comfort, trading is going to be a lot easier for you because a lot of people, like the other day, in the evening, I was watching people, or I was going to make a note of this on my IG the other day, like when GJ was consolidating for 20 hours and people were trying to play that range. And it's like, it's going to go down. It's going to go down. It's like, yeah, but look to the left. We haven't broken out of this range. If it's going to drop, it's not going to drop just 10 pips. It's going to drop 30, 40, 50 pips. So why are you fighting the market? Like, why are you doing that? Let the market come to you. And when you take a trade, when it breaks above or below a certain point, don't just try and take a trade because the market's going to go down. And all that happens is you get caught in consolidation. And I watched people fry their accounts because they decided to trade in a range because they knew GJ was going down. I mean, it was obvious that GJ was going down, but when was it going down? We didn't know. And I think a lot of people have to get used to the fact of letting the market do its thing and then catching second place. Like, if you know that there's going to be a wick formed, like as an example here, if we look at this right here, if you know this wick is going to be formed to drive down, you shouldn't be trying to take trades up over here. You should be in trades over here. Like you should let the top part of the candle or the body of the candle start to form before you start to try and take trades. Like you don't need to jump in because if this is a valid sell, it's going to go further down. It's not just going to go from here to here. Like you have to understand that. And if it does, then you're closing at break even or just above break even, things of that nature. But don't try and chase, especially with GJ, because what if it just drives right back up? It knocks you out, and now you're stuck again. So really focus on understanding that if it's going to be a solid move, it's not going to be 5 pips, 4 pips. Like 5 pips and 4 pip moves are those ideas where it's like, man, I got to get out of the trade and I don't like the way the market's moving. But with GJ, you should get 10, 20 pips out of it very easily if the market conditions are accurate.
Yeah, so what I'm looking for here is basically if I want to take a trade, I want my stop to be up over here around like 135, 650. So I want to enter around like, 135, 540 to have a smaller stop loss. Otherwise, I'm not entering position. Because if I enter right now, my stop is going to be pretty big, like 17, 20 pip stop, which doesn't sit well with me. So I'm just going to wait. If I miss it, I miss it. But if I get it right over here, I think that's going to be pretty good. Let's take a look at this chart here. Oh, sell, nice. I think you're on the money over here, targeting that wick fill. Pretty good. I think people are already in sells on GJ. This is your CHF. After this candle took sell, very nice. Yeah, so this area where you could see like a price coming into and then rejecting. I mean, if this runs down, I'm definitely, there's going to be no trade for me here today at that point.
I have that area marked that on a strong support.
Is the pullback on the new hourly greater? It depends, I mean, the momentum is down, candles are bearish, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do a pullback, but I would like to have a pullback so I can get an entry, but right now I guess I've missed the trade coming down, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and if you're watching gold right now, I'd be very cautious about what's happening there. You'll see what happened with gold on the hour candle. So now we rejected that area on the 30-minute. So this obviously, and this is your hour candle forming. But if you didn't get in on the last 15-minute candle to push up, I would be very cautious around this hour candle on the fact that this could be a wick forming and then this could potentially fill. So be very cautious. Trading these kind of candles when there's really no bottom wick or top wick are very difficult. Ideally, you would really want to see a rejection either on the top side of the candle or a rejection on the bottom side. When I'm taking trades, I'm always looking for things of this nature. I want to see rejections up to drive down, because what that's telling me is that we've gotten liquidity at the top part of the wick to drive. So basically this is the fuel for price to then continue down, or this is the fuel for price to continue going up. These kind of candles here, I don't like those, because the next candle really doesn't give me any information. And what is happening here in my mind is a zone is being created and we don't know if we're going to drive through that zone or we're going to tap and reject away from that zone. And if I'm taking trades, I want to make sure my candle is rejecting up, but I want to see the wick have actually left this zone. I want to have this wick leave this zone so that I'm 100% certain that we are moving in that direction. It takes a little bit more time for the trade to develop, but the accuracy is there. You get a better you get a more accurate trade than trying to get something in right now saying, oh, because we're going up, we're going here. You do miss a lot of trades in terms of waiting for things to develop, but the problem is, the idea is you're going to have a nice trade that isn't going to hurt you, or it's going to be a sound trade. It's not going to be something that you're rushed. So really keep that in mind. And you can see here with GJ, we tapped into that zone, which we talked about earlier, into I guess it was like 340 or whatever it was, or what were we saying? 360, which we talked about just as Raja was on mute or on break. We tapped into this, so now we're reacting at that area. So I mean, that's sort of what we were looking at. So when you're looking at trades and you're looking at ideas in terms of the market, those are things that you want to look at. Is there's going to be a lot of times where you have a trade that comes into a zone like this and you've taken a trade over here. That's the trade. Like, you know, you can either exit over here or move your stop loss to here and hope that it continues to go down. But a lot of times your targets are not going to be wide targets. Like if you're looking on, this is a 15-minute time frame, your target isn't going to be that big. You're not going to have a big target, so you have to be prepared for that. As you go into the higher time frames, you can say, okay, well, my target wants to be longer. But then with that being said, if you want a bigger target with GJ, this is not the target that you want. But more importantly, you should have been up in this area over here, right? We should have been looking for trades up in this area over here. So you have to go back on your charts and say, okay, well, when was this time? When did it make sense for me to take trades over here? And if that was during the London session or maybe setting up for in the Asian session, that's what we should have been looking at. Coming into the New York session and then hitting a support like over here, I mean, that might be the only trade you get with GJ if you did try and take that trade, or if you're very conservative, there probably wasn't a trade for you because there wasn't a trade for me. I mean, you can call this level very easily, but I'm not taking that trade. It's just too tight for me. It doesn't make sense. And knowing that 8 o'clock comes around and there's going to be a whole bunch of movement like this, it's very, very difficult to trade without a clear path.
Ooh, and I'm getting a lot of reports that people did take these sells on GJ. Yeah,
It's like the weather forecast.
yeah, the reports are coming in. Yeah, because I see the YouTube, and then on my Instagram I started getting these mentions and stories. You know, like, oh, the reports are coming in.
I mean, because once again, we just talked about it. People are scared that they're going to miss the move. They're literally scared that they're not going to find another trade ever again. And you know, if you're not quick on the draw with GJ, as an example, in this case here, yeah, you're going to get wicked out very quickly. I mean, like I said, there's no reason why you couldn't have taken this trade if you were very quick. If you said, hey, New York Open, we're going to go and we're going to drop to this point here, and this area here is a continuation off the previous hour, and I'm going to take that trade. That's perfect. You know, but once again, being able to tell the whole story, looking at your higher time frames, if we, you know, as we look at GJ on the higher time frames, you can see sort of where we're coming to. We basically hit a zone on the daily. If looking left around April, we tapped into a rejection area. So I mean, you have to keep that in mind. Being able to tell the whole story, it's important that you see all the details of the charts. Like every little tiny thing you need to be aware of. Like it's scary, but looking at multiple time frames, one little thing will invalidate your trade. And in this case, looking at GJ, you can see we're coming to a support right on the daily. There's a massive support on the daily where candles have just bounced off from a previous level, and that's where we bounced to. We hit that daily support, and now we're bouncing around there. So we have to wait to see if you're going to get a confirmation of this area breaking, which we need a bigger rejection candle to drive down.
If you reach your daily target, if you see a trade, would you take it or reduce risk? I think don't take it. Ooh, what a rejection. What a rejection. See, this was the area where you should have taken profits down here, closed, you know, like majority of your positions if you were to leave a runner running. But if you didn't, you either got stopped out at break even, or if your stop wasn't at break even, now you're in a drawdown. Well done. Whoever's in a drawdown after this move down, after being in profits and in drawdown right now, well done. You just played yourself. Literally, like, price will always give you 10 to 12, 15 pips all the time. All the time. I've seen that happen so many times, you know. So, I mean, me personally, I just, whenever it goes to like 10, 12, 15 pips, my ears just prop up. I'm like, all right, time to take profits or time to secure. Do you have any wicks on the screen? I think since this resolution is so big, people can't see the wicks sometimes. Interesting.
They're pretty clear, bro.
Yeah. No, like some people have smaller screens, you know, with less resolutions.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's take a look at this chart here.
Dude, I'm on my iPhone, dude, and I see everything clear.
Yeah, I'm on the iPhone, bro.
Yeah, but I said people with lower resolutions. iPhone has a huge resolution.
Yeah, Kavan, not the screen size, bro, the resolution.
Dude, like, isn't it all phone 1080p now? Like,
No.
what do they have? Like a 4X?
No, bro, but not everyone is on their phones, man.
Or he's talking in general, like in a computer, like the screen monitor is not pulling out a 4K or 1080p. You know?
Yeah, it's still the old ass monitors, bro. Like, okay.
Oh, you're talking about the original monitors.
Yes.
Sure.
Jesus. Confusing.
Yeah, I guess gold is rejecting this area to continue moving bearish. We got news coming in 15 minutes here as well. Core CPI. PPI. PPI is a little smaller than CPI. It moves, but not as much as the CPI. Yeah, I took no trade so far. So far, 0 trades. Let's try this. Not enjoying the rangy Forex market this week. Yeah, when price is ranging, you're just kind of waiting. What's the device you use to execute and close trades? It's called MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. Are you confident in trading in consolidation when you see an opportunity? Nope. Sometimes, depends. Yesterday I was confident in the range when I took the trade.
It might be referring to magic keys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because that answer is very simple. You know, if people can't find those answers, then I don't feel like I should be giving out those answers. Trump had minimal. Yeah, I mean it's pretty wild here. Would tomorrow GBP affect GBP have the same effect on NFP USD? So this question is, oh, GDP. Yeah, it depends. You know, the funny thing is all GBP news, like the big news, have been moved from 4:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern. I've been noticing that. You know, GDP, PPI as well. Same effect on NFP. Yeah, I mean, it could. GDP could have that move, but like NFP is really big mover of currency. GDP is not that big at all, so it might not have the same effect. So this 30-minute candle is about to close on gold. It's closing bearish. I would say if the news does come out, I mean, let's see what they're expecting here. So this is the wick here, right? 1721. They're expecting it to be better than expected. So if it's better than expected, that would make sense. If this 30-minute candle closes bearish, it would make sense for the next one to continue moving down. Since price broke out of the range, if it breaks resistance back into the range and starts trending up, would you trade it? Or okay. So if price goes back in this range, no, not really. I mean, if I look at the time, it's coming closer to 8:30. By like 9 a.m., I'm mostly done trading anyway. So at that point, I would probably label this day as a no trading day for me. You know, but if in the next 30 minutes something extraordinary happens, the price breaks above, 135, 850, and if I see confirmations of buys, then I might enter the buys there. But for the most part, I think I'm getting ready to call it a no trading day here for myself. Trading is really easy when you just when you when you accept the fact that some days you will have no trades, when you accept the fact that some days it's just going to be rangy days, it gets really, really simple. After watching your stream for 2 weeks, I've started to keep me self-disciplined. I made a rule of 3 trades. Oh, nice. Beautiful. It's fun, right? Got 12 minutes left, 12 minutes to wait for the candles to close. This is where, you just gotta wait. 12 minutes, you can do whatever you want, check news, check up on your friends on Instagram, check up on some YouTube videos, send charts. See, someone sent a chart in the gulag. Let's check this chart. This chart is, USD/JPY 30-minute chart. Resistance formed, waiting for a strong bearish candle to enter. There's also news too, there's news coming on. So, I mean, I think one thing you're missing is you're missing a support right over here, So if you map it out to the left, you'll see it matches up with this area here to the left as well. So you'll have to keep in mind that area there.
I think people that are trading and they're getting antsy with trades, you really have to look at why you're antsy. Like, why are you trying to rush the process? And I think once you find that out, once you figure out why you're trying to rush the process and you are able to control that, trading does become a lot easier. I think a lot of people forget, trading for 6 months or a year is really nothing, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to insult people, but you haven't been in the market long enough. People trading for a year haven't really experienced the market long enough. When you're in year 4 and year 5, you're gonna realize like this happens every week. There's gonna be a day there's not gonna be really good trades, or there's gonna be a day there's gonna be amazing trades, things of that nature. And I think as you get used to coming into the markets and building a routine, your anxiety or the angst for trying to take a trade gets removed. I mean, I take maybe 5 or 10 trades a week, if that. Um, the other week I took 7 trades. So I mean, it's just, and it's not, well, because I make bigger amounts on one single position. It's no, that's what I saw in the market. The idea behind the amount of money that I'm making in a position is irrelevant. It's did the idea match my criteria for taking an entry? And I think once you get used to that, the money will just compound. You'll find that the money will just come fast and furious because you realize that you have ultimate control over what you're trying to do.
Do you take profits at a certain pip target before leaving runners? Yes, I do that. I take profits at certain pips and then leave runner after that. This morning I've seen 3-4 people send donations through YouTube followed by a question. And that question stands out because then it shows like a big number there too. Like the Smell of Victory donated $4.99 followed by a question. So I think that was pretty good. That was pretty smart. Didn't miss the question.
And that's a nice price. $4.99.
$4.99.
Nice.
What's this here? See an anticipation break. Oh, okay. So you're looking for a retracement and then a continuation down. Yeah, that makes sense. During New York session, that makes sense.
Oh, Rakeel, I think the problem with the wicks is that the wicks are in white. So maybe if you change them back to like red and the other color you have, blue, might make a difference. I don't know. Because now I'm noticing that it's kind of hard to see as well.
Some of them are a little bit more bolder than the other ones. You see that?
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing. Right? My eyes are like tripping.
All right, let's take a look at this chart here. Oh, it's the same chart. Yeah, but I think the most important thing is for people to look at their own charts rather than focus here. Wow, GJ is continuing down. There's no buys on GJ. No buys at all. If we cross this level over here, I think the next level to come down to is all the way here to the left, this area here, and then eventually down towards. This is where it took a buy last week, which ran 100 pips. I remember this level, 135. Let's bring it all the way here to the left, 135. Sir, take a look at this chart. Let's take a look here. We got, what, 7 minutes left till the news comes in. 7 minutes left. I've taken no trades today. GJ, 15 minute. I think this is an old chart. Why do people send old charts, man? This is already played out. Euro AUD, broken resistance. Yeah, I think this looks good. This looks good. If on the 30 minute you see a candle closing bullish, I think the next one should continue moving it up. Yeah, it's good. Looks good. Jeff said gold sells. I think, Jeff, you need to send a chart on gold if you're watching the sells or if you're in the sells. Because if you take a sell now, your stop is going to be pretty big. You're also walking into the news in 5 minutes. It's going to get pretty hard. Why did you draw the box below? You said it was a daily low, or did I miss something? Yeah, so that box below was based on the smaller time frames. You know, if you look on the daily, you can't necessarily see it because this is what you see here, right, on the daily. So you gotta use a little bit of cognitive thinking when you're drawing those zones. So see this zone right over here, around 135.090. You go to the 1 hour, you see the same area right over here on the 1 hour time frame now, right? This area here. So that's where I'm expecting price to come down to, if it does come down. Ooh, take care, Dustin. Dustin's leaving us today. Let's take a look at this chart. This is USD CAD. Trade is up. This line is high time frame ranging. Making support over here. Lower time frame seems like rejecting. Yeah, this could work. I mean, you also got news coming in, so you got to take into account that news too, how that's going to affect the USD pairs too. I don't think many people still look at the Forex Factory, or they still look at when's the news is going to happen. Because yesterday a lot of people took trades without knowing that there's news for the USD CPI. A lot of people took trades without knowing. They're like, oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't. How? How can you not look at that? You know, if you're going to go on a picnic, are you not going to look at the weather to see if it's going to rain or not? Like, I don't know. I think it should be common sense to look at what news is going to be in the day before taking a trade in that day. I think that should be common sense, but at the same time, it's not common, right? You didn't even read the chart labels. The hardest thing is that you use the graphics and you're going to ignore it. Oh, let's take a look here. Someone sent a chart. Yeah, the reason I didn't read the labels was because I saw the graphics of the chart. I saw the price. It was at 135,625, and right now we are at 135,440. So how does this old chart help us where price is right now? It doesn't help anyone. You know, I mean, the best thing you could have done is to send this chart when price was here before, so that we could have looked at it, you know. So, I mean, don't get this the wrong way, but I like looking at present, what's happening presently, you know, because like when you're looking in the past, I might miss something which is happening right now. So that's why I don't did that. More strength in GP. If price breaks this, expect to push down to 136, 320. If price breaks 355, expect to on clean traffic to the left. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Perfect. Makes sense. But again, if you would have sent this chart before, then we would have seen, okay, yeah, you know, Mr. Traderlicious made sense and it worked. But sending the chart after prices moved, I don't know. When you have so much skin in the game, you can afford to risk less but make considerable dollar amounts, right? Yes. Yeah, I think it takes experience. I think it takes a lot of experience. We got 2 minutes left for the news to come in right now. USD, wow, US 30 did tap into that area down here at 26,100. Is USD news going to impact GJ? I think it maybe increase the spreads, maybe move it a little bit here and there, but not much. I don't think it's going to move it a lot, unless the news is really, really, you know, like different. That's why. So let's see here what this news does. The 30 minutes closing bearish on gold. I expect it to wake up and continue moving bearish with a positive news outcome because they're expecting it to be good news today. So let's see what happens. Oh, Warzone has a new update. Man, they always have new updates. Got 30 seconds left. No trade day is like a leg day at the gym. Yeah, that's what I feel like today. I haven't taken any trade today. All right, let's see what happens here. Got 10 seconds.
I don't know about the news, but the way GJ is forming right now, it's about to break that. Let's see.
Wick up and then fill this wick and possibly continue down.
Yeah.
Was the news good? I think it was good. Let's take a look here.
That 30-minute candle on GJ's.
As expected and good news. Yeah, pretty good. Did come down. Okay. How much was this? Ooh, almost 20 pips. 4 pip spread on gold. Better than 6-7 pip I was seeing.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the Chinese indicator here, because I'm getting some epiphanies here. Pound is very weak. JPY is strong, so pound yen should continue moving down. This 15 minute should continue down. Man, I mean, this might be a very radical idea, but I think we may tap 135 today, which is like 36 pips away from where price is right now. Good news equals to pound up. Why? Why, Frank? Why would pound go up if the news is good on the USD? Oh wow, look at gold. Damn. But yeah, I do believe, I mean, if price was ranging here, right? Price is ranging between 135, 800 and 135, 600. And we broke below this range in pre-New York. I think there could be a very good opportunity for price to continue down to 135 with like 18 pip stop and a 30 pip gain. So like 1 to 2 risk reward. I think that's very possible. Break below with the anticipation that the volume coming in New York would break below 135, 300. The only trades I have in this day are from the Asian session yesterday. That's it. Wow, look at that. Good news, and gold is heading up. So with good USD news, gold should be going down, right? But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Can't change it. Been an uneventful day in the household of Raja Bank today. What's this? Your JPY. Oh, your JPY also came down. Better price for institution.
Are you gonna take that sell on GJ, Raja?
Me? No. No.
Okay.
No. I've made up my
Yeah.
mind not to take any trades today.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess like this was the trade I was waiting for. This one here, right here,
Mhm.
and I missed
Mhm.
it. So yeah, I don't know. Might take a smaller position.
It's pretty risky, but if I have my stop loss above the previous 30-minute candle, you know, I'm just gonna risk a little bit. The profits from US 30. Yeah, even though we're at support, but I still believe we're gonna break that support,
Oh yeah,
going to
100%.
135 flat, and I hope that that doesn't happen later on. I want to see a decent break from that support in the next 15 minutes before the 845.
Are you in the trade right now?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, perfect.
yeah, my stop loss is above the 30-minute candle.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna risk a little bit, but yeah, still.
Yeah, I think the reason why I'm not taking a trade here is because, man, I have had a really good winning streak so far this week. And I don't want to ruin it with a red trade, you know?
So
Yeah,
it's messing
nah,
with your mental.
Yeah, I've had like all blues.
yeah.
Because I was wondering why you didn't take off the 15-minute break candle like you normally did.
Yeah, I had like all blues. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to put in like a red in there. But I do believe it's gonna continue down to 135 for sure. The 4 hours closing as well. 4 hours are gonna come to fill this wick over here. The 1 hour candle, you can see it kind of like it ranged. It ranged after Asian Open up till like, you know, like pre-New York. And if it's breaking out of this range, then it should continue moving down. The other thing that might happen is like before London close, it might do like a small resistance and then continue down. But I think 135 is a very good target. Oh. Man, I thought this was a candle. I looked away for a sec. I looked here. It was a kind of like, oh shit, did it move?
I want to see a clear break from that support in the next 15 minutes.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like with the I wouldn't be surprised if with this 4-hour close you might see that move down there as well. All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, nice. Someone's in sells with stops at break even, right? This is where price action lines up with the Chinese indicator. You look at the Chinese indicator, you're like, okay, it's saying sells. You look at price action is also saying sells.
Oh, I'm trusting the Chinese indicator as well.
Yeah.
No, jokes. No. I don't trust the Chinese indicator. I don't trust any indicator.
Except for EYES. Holy, negative 800 points.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Hurry, man, you do use an indicator. The NPA.
Negative 800 points. That's pretty big.
The market has to give a pullback, man. Like, there's no way that the market's just rallying for what's going on in the world. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, a lot of things don't make sense at all. Did the indicator...
Go ahead.
I was about to say, did the Undertaker really die? No. You know, the Undertaker... When we were little, we used to see he would always die and come back to life.
Here in the WWE says stock market, everything's fake.
It's all fake, man. Doesn't make sense. I mean, you had the coronavirus on and like US 30 was rallying to the skies. Didn't make any sense at all. Stocks were dying. People were complaining about losing money in their RRSPs and in their bonds, and investments were going to shit while the Dow was going up.
Business was closed.
Yeah, didn't make any sense at all.
Just didn't make any sense.
This whole economy and the way the stock market is run is like the WWE. It's all lies. I mean, the only good thing we can see is, as traders, is just go where the market is moving, irrespective to what's happening fundamentally.
Correct.
I mean, that's what I've seen so far. I mean, look, the news was good, really good news here, PPI, and look at gold, boom. Gold moved what, like $7, from 1723 to 1731, no problem.
You didn't see the report, the thing that I posted that day traders slaughtered the markets. They made more than investors.
Yeah, I believe that. Because the long-term investors just like losing money right now. But like day traders, because day traders, we follow the market, you know.
Yeah.
We follow where price is moving. So when I talk to people about, you know, like when they ask, what do you do? Like I say, yeah, I day trade or I run an online academy or whatever. And they say, oh, well, how are your stocks doing? I'm like, no, I don't trade stocks. Oh, you trade currencies? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, okay. How many US dollars have you bought so far? I'm like, no, it's not about that. It's like you're exchanging currencies at a very fast pace on a daily basis.
I don't even tell them I do anything, man. I just tell them I work from home and I have my own business.
Oh, you're an entrepreneur?
It's hard to explain what you do.
Yeah, it is.
It's very hard.
It's really.
Yeah.
But sometimes the second comment I get is, oh, so if I give you money, I'm like, no, we're not having that conversation.
Well, you guys got it easy, man. My parents think I'm a drug dealer.
Oh.
Oh man, don't say
that. That's old school, man. My next door neighbors think we're drug dealers, man.
No, My parents say the only people that deal in Bitcoin are criminals. And I was like, okay.
Who want to hide their money?
Yeah.
See, this 4 hour is about to come to a close over here. For the 4 hour to continue pushing bearish, let's take a look on the 4 hour here. Yeah, I think this will be a target where it should come down to 135. It really needs to cross this wick over here, which is a support in this area here. I think if now there are two scenarios, right? One scenario is as GJ does always, it just moves without a retest. The second scenario is that GJ might, I mean, if we reject this area as we did, earlier on with London Open when the news came out with the JPY, it might come up to create like a minor resistance and then continue moving down. So those are the two scenarios that may come out to play.
Yes. And the next 5 minutes of the basically this 15-minute candle is gonna be key. 15-minute. I would like to see a deep down on this 15-minute. So we're gonna have some sort of road for the next 15 minutes to continue going down. So be aware of any pullbacks. This sell is not gonna be valid then.
Yes. And if you look at right now, let's take a look on the 5 minute. Look at the 5 minute. 5 minute created like a minor support. Candles broke down, making lower highs and lower lows.
Yeah.
We might continue bearish here now.
Yeah. Basically, this 15-minute. I'm sorry. Basically, this 15-minute candle should close somewhere near to 250. So basically, 6 pips from we are right now, near to the blue line that Raja has right there.
Yeah, exactly. People are asking about my mic. Yeah, this is my mic I'm using every day.
It's really good. Sounds really good.
Yeah. Even if I move this mic far away, you can still hear me, right? It's so good. Why put it at your face? Yeah, I think that makes me look like a Forex commentator. So right now, price to move down to 135, 361, move 135, T20, 135, T20, and then we move down to 135, 200, and then we're coming down, and boom, TP.
Oh man,
that TP should happen very soon here.
Hey, that's amazing.
I haven't taken a single trade today. What's this? EA update. Oh, someone sent an update on the EA chart. Holy shit, man. Chat is moving so fast. Let's take a look here. So this is... Ooh. I got no entry. What would you do? What would you think in the case 15-minute close above minor resistance formed? I would think it should continue moving up with this 30-minute candle closing bullish. Sent you said a few moments ago, I like my idea, although it didn't go as planned. Yeah, it is what it is. It did go into some profit, so I think it should continue moving up if it closes bullish. If you look on GJ is now coming into the last 15-minute candle of this 4 hour. This is the last 15-minute candle. It has 30 more pips to drop for this candle to close. Can we get this drop? 15-minute candle has closed below all the other candles here to the left. Can we get this drop on 15-minute? There are a lot of livelihoods relying on you, GJ, right now.
Yeah. Let's go, GJ.
Can you drop without retracing, GJ? Can you drop?
Yes, GJ. Just drop.
If someone's trying to look for sells right now, I would say this is not the right time to look for sells. This commentary is only for people who are already in sells, holding stops at break even. Ooh, someone's in a helicopter. Even without taking a trade, this stream is so entertaining. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have a lot of different colorful personalities here in this stream every day. Colorful personalities. GJ will do absolutely everything but the thing you want it to do. That is true. It's like GJ's looking in my window from up over there. I have a window right across this monitor. Oh, we're moving. We're moving here. We're coming into the vicinity of 135 200s. What PC did you build, Raja? Oh, I just upgraded my PC I bought 2 years ago. I bought a PC 2 years ago. I just upgraded it a little bit. Added in a new processor and a GPU unit. Added in a new power supply to support the new GPU. Ooh, we're moving now. 135 250 coming into 135
Right.
250.
Yeah, I'm gonna close 50%, and my position now is a break even 135.43.
Nice.
Mm.
All right, slowly coming down towards 135 200. Can we get 135 200? 135 200. Going once, going twice. And it looks like we're waiting. Where did you buy those computer parts? From a computer store. Yeah, from a computer store. From the bakery. Computer parts from a bakery. That's hilarious. Someone in Zoom.
Same place where you get the shawarmas.
Yeah, the shawarma guy. Are we going to have a guest tomorrow? Yeah, I contacted 3 people. I contacted 3 people to come on as guests, and they haven't replied yet. I contacted that finance guy, and he hasn't got to me back yet. I think he's busy. I contacted this profile on Instagram called Forex Tips. I think it's run by a lady. She hasn't gotten back to me yet as well. So I don't think there's going to be guest tomorrow. I mean, if someone wants to be guest tomorrow, we can have you guys a guest.
Let's do a random selection from the gulag. How's the experience on the other side?
Yeah, how's the experience? Wow, US 30, man, Ted was right. It's going to be a bloodbath here with US 30 here. Ooh.
Yeah.
One down.
Looks like we're coming into 135 200 on GJ here again now. Wow, this would be a very amazing thing if it comes down to 135 before the 4-hour close. Oh, we're coming down to 135 200. 200 is on the rivers right now. 135 200. Come on.
Let's go, GJ. Come on.
Even though I'm not in this trade, I'm just really excited for it to come down towards 135. Do you think learning the whole Baby Pips course is a good value? Yes. I went through Baby Pips. Yeah, the new power supply is running really good. It actually looks very nice. All my wires are black now. Hey, Raja, if I start with $300 and use 0.01 lots, would it be a good idea? After each week, I'll add more funds. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. A very good idea. After each week, you see you're getting consistent, you can add more funds to it. Maybe add 150 more after a week or 200 more after a week. That's pretty good. Since you're not in any trades, can you explain how do you efficiently withdraw the money? Taxes, less commissions, currency exchange, local dollars. Yeah, you need to talk to your accountant about those things. All right, we're coming down towards 135 200. Let's take a look on the high time frame here. You see this wick here to the left. I think this wick should get filled. Looking on the 1 hour here, looking left now. Here, now let's take a look left here a little bit. So that red dotted line is where price is right now, right? So if you look, this is the wick over here. This was the resistance formed on 2nd June before London Open. Looking on the 30-minute chart, if we zoom in a little bit. Look at this, 30-minute, right? Clean candles coming down towards 135, 100. Clean candles. So this is what we should be looking at. Can you evaluate on how you would have caught the GJ sells? Oh yeah, absolutely. I think my sells would have been at this candle close right here. Because once this candle closed bullish, then I'd be looking at this candle here to come down. And this came down bearish, so I think this would have been where I would have caught in sells here. Yeah, right here. Would have been up like 20 pips. Oh, we're coming down. Town. It'll be amazing if it falls 23 more pips in the next 10 minutes. So since price has been running, there hasn't been even one point where we've said GJ is going to be a buy. It's just been sells throughout.
Some couldn't even find sell opportunities, bro.
Yeah, that's when you have to go back and see how you could have caught the sells.
So buy is the last thing anybody should be looking for.
Yes.
Hey, Roger.
Hey.
So I was finding this one problem I was having is that I was getting my analysis correct. My trade was making profits, and then I was trying to add stack trades onto the winning trade, and I was always cocking them up, because of like sort of maybe just sort of coming under too much pressure, I suppose. So I've decided now just to do the one trade and that's it, and sit back. And I'm actually ending the day in profit,
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Why not buy? Is GJ is bullish? Oh, well,
Yeah.
we are coming into 135, 150 indications right now. We are moving very nice on GJ. GJ horse is taking the lead. Can we drop 15 more pips in the next 5 minutes? 15 more pips. Okay.
To be honest, that's nothing for GJ in the last 5 minutes of the hour.
Yeah, look at this 5-minute candle, man. Oh, this is gonna drop. This move is coming downtown right now. Everybody put your seatbelts on, though. We're about to land on the airport.
Raja, it looks like that candle you drew that you thought was real. It really happened.
Someone else drew that. I don't know who that was.
That was me.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah,
that was me.
This is your captain speaking. We are about to land shortly. Please fasten your seatbelts. We're going to a turnaround right now. Man, whoever is holding sells right now, god damn, you are banking some pips. You're about to get free pips, free 10 pips right now. Free 10 pips.
I got 80 points on down earlier, and now I'm dipping profits on GG also. So it's gonna be a pretty good day.
When we looked at it, right? So if we go back and we evaluate how this trade would have taken place, we knew that this was an area of contention, right? And we knew that as long as we broke that area and we moved our stop here or over here, if it did break down, then this is, you broke through this zone, which is now a bigger level on the higher time frame.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the target down there. 135.050. Hey, happy days. Yeah, it was pretty good. Wow, looks like a lot of people took these sells. Well, on YouTube, guys, if you took these sells here down to this target, just give a like on the stream. Hey, I'm gonna like my stream here too now. See, I only tell people to like the stream when things play out just like I expected. When they don't play out, I never tell people to like the stream, because then I'm like, oh man. Wow, gold also went up.
At this point, Everybody should secure profits. Don't let anything
Everybody.
on the table. Because
No.
yeah, you may get another 10, another 15 pips, but you know.
Yeah, this is the point to secure profits now. All the traders around the world, this is the time to secure your profits and plan to call it a day. So this was another great episode brought to you by Raja Bank's Stress-Free Trading. Another episode of stress-free trading here today. Did you take this trade? No, I didn't take this trade. But hey, I was totally fine with it, right? I had no FOMO, I had no anxiety, nothing. I didn't take this trade. Beautiful, beautiful. People are closing out. This is the best room to be in. Cheers, man. Oh, thank you, thank you. And US 30 is also continuing here. Can it push lower? I don't know. I mean, it could. It could go down to 135, but I mean, if you're not securing profits here, I mean, I just don't know what to say anymore. Raja was 100% in that trade. No, I wasn't. I'm gonna show my thing here later on. I was in no trades at all. No trades. The only trades I took in this trading day were in Asian session. I had sells. That was it. That's it. That's the only trade I took.
We're back into that monthly range pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's sad.
Exactly. And I mean, that was the only trade I took from the Asian session.
Roger, was last month a good month for you also?
Last month?
Yeah.
Yes. Last month was a good month.
You know what was sad? That I closed way early my Dow Jones because I was expecting a pullback before the 8:30 a.m. So at this point I should be like 400 points in profits.
Yeah, I mean, if you look right here, you had
It
1,
is what
2,
it
3,
is.
4, 5, 6 30-minute candles.
Yeah.
Wow.
When the market opened at 9:30, you should see a flush too. People trying to get out their positions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna see what happen if we get a massive pullback, because many orders are gonna be released at that point.
Oof. Wow, man, GG is awesome.
Looks like it's gonna be one of those days that the 4-hour close like this, and then the next 4 hour doesn't give a pullback. It's just continue dropping.
Just continues dropping.
Well,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
This is where I had a runner from Asian session, and this is where I'm closing the runner right over here.
Oh, so you didn't take the trade, but you had a runner.
Yeah, this is another 100 pips.
Oh man, I knew it.
Hey, but I didn't take a trade. I didn't take a trade here today.
Applause.
Because you've
Well
been
played.
in it, bro.
Well played, man.
Yeah, I was in it running, man. I learned from last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks, I've had 4 trades that ran like 100 pips, and
No wonder you were so excited about GA dropping.
yeah.
So you've been suffering in this consolidation box.
No, like my stops were at like 136 even. I had my stops at 136 even. So at that point, I was still banking like like 40 pips, 30 pips.
Roger,
So-
that guy called you out. He said you had a position. He was right.
So
Yeah.
No, he said technically, like Rakeel took a position. Rakeel was already in the position.
I was already in it, but I didn't take a
Well,
position in the art session.
close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Close
yes.
enough.
Yeah.
Well, it goes to like if you back test or if you've been keeping up with GJ over the last month, I think Wednesday, Thursday overnight holds have been successful. I would say 90% of the time. Going in from like a Wednesday evening, like the basically the Thursday Asian session into the Thursday North American session has trended all the way through. If you look back on Wednesday, like if you go to a Wednesday Thursday chart, the Wednesday candle is usually continued on the Thursday for the most part. If you've back tested that, those are little things if you look at it.
Let's take a look at this. Wow, man, that whole move up. We're starting to correct like this. Like last week was bullish. This week was equally as bearish. Honestly, I was hoping that we would kind of like tap into 137 and then continue going up. But I guess the smaller time frames didn't really give us those indications, right? This is where when you see the higher time frame and you're like, oh yeah, higher time frame is bullish. But when you look on the smaller time frames, you're like, well, like small time frame isn't really giving an indication of a buying opportunity. So I guess it will go bearish. Hey, I was watching your stream. I still don't understand how you draw your target GJ zone. Can you explain it again? I'm having difficulty with it. Well, Faisal Osman, I think you can go and watch the recap because this zone here I mapped out looking left. This zone I mapped out looking left. This zone I also mapped out looking left. So you'll have to watch the recap. Please make a video on how to leave a runner running. You put stops at break even and you let the position run. That's how you can leave a runner running. This one I had running from like 136, 380. This was the high made in the Asian session right over here, which was also a strong support on the 9th June, after London Open. So it ran for like around a little more than 100 pips. I think this was like 120 pips, 130 pips. Stop was secured at like 40 pips around 136. Just boom. One reason I'm getting really good at managing my runners through the night is because my son wakes up at like around London Open. So that gives me an opportunity to look at the chart and like, oh, okay, we're running, not stopped at break even, perfect. Let's put stops at in profits.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So you're saying get a son? Yeah, get yourself a baby. It's gonna wake you up in the middle of the night.
Sanan, man, adding money to his college fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We're about to open it. So we opened RESP for him, and we found out that if he doesn't go to college or education, then he can't get that RESP.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you can get it back.
No, you
In the
can't.
No,
US
he
is
doesn't. He
different.
doesn't get it. You get it. You get it back.
You get it back.
But still, it's the same
RESP.
thing, right?
Yeah. RESP. The the kid has to use it for school, otherwise they don't get it. It's like a trust fund with a restriction on it.
So if we die, he
I'm
still
gonna take
gets
care
it.
of him. Don't worry.
It's it depends on what you when you do your will, how you leave things to your estate. So that would be part of the will that you would say, okay, if I die and my son doesn't go to post-secondary education, these funds are brought back to the state and then your estate. And then what happens is, based on how your estate is divided up, obviously Sinan at this point would probably get your estate because he's your only next of kin. He would assume the money anyways. So just be careful he doesn't go older and kill you when he realizes he has a RESP and he wants the money.
or after, or he realizes that I only had $10 to my name, and he's like, "Ah, shit."
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, guys, I can die at any time, so it's a good thing we're doing these streams, and you guys are all learning. Because if I die, then maybe someone else will take over, but you'll know what to do.
Could you imagine if the stream goes offline? There's going to be it's going to be like, this is like the, back in the day with the NBC time slot on Thursday nights. this will be the new time slot. Like, people will be fighting for this time slot. It's like, what? Raj is no longer streaming? Oh, New York session exposure.
Yeah, exactly. Because you'll have 4,000 people YouTubing live Forex NY session.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about that last night in the group chat, Ted?
Yeah. That's exactly. It would be rather funny. I mean,
we know who's going to take that spot.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are coming for it. I don't know. I always find it funny that, like, people do things. I don't think they do them for the right reason. And I mean, I look at some of the other streams and sort of what people are doing, and it bothers me because it's like you want to give people the best opportunity to win and be and make money, and then they're doing like the wrong things. So I mean, to be honest, I think having a London stream makes sense because of the fact that that's the highest or the biggest market when it comes to FX. Yeah. And then having the New York stream works because you have the London New York overlap, which increases volume. But then, like, that would be like if you wanted to stream like mid-afternoon, like the North American session, like the amount of times that you would catch an opportunity compared to you're not, it forces you to start looking for things that aren't there. And the same thing, like even with an Asian stream, like, I mean, you start forcing yourself to look for things that aren't there. I would say about 70% of the time there isn't profitable trades after about 3 p.m. From 3 p.m. to about 9 p.m. Eastern. There just isn't. I mean, I've done enough research behind that. And the ones that you do get, if you look at your history, you're gonna get crushed more times than you don't. You're not gonna have an overall successful rate. Your account can still grow, but what's going to happen is you're going to be trading, like, the losses that you take, say in the Asian session, you'll make back in the London or North American session, and you just won't realize that. You won't realize that the Asian session isn't profitable for you, or like mid-afternoon in the North American session isn't profitable for you, things like that. And I think as a new trader, you really have to look at your profitability, and you have to say, hey, listen, just because the last 4 out of 10 times I've been profitable in the Asian session, or I've been profitable later on in the North American session, it doesn't necessarily mean you should be trading it. Like, don't look at profit as your only target when it comes to trading. Like, there has to be your time, the effort involved, obviously there's a bit of stress when you are trading. So keep that in mind. And if you actually back test your results, you'll look at, and like I back tested my Asian results, I was making, 3 or 4% in Asian. But then it was hurting my North American trades because I wasn't able to trade, or 3 or 4% in London, and I wasn't able to trade North America, so I was missing that opportunity. So really gauge where it makes the most sense, and if you find that you're not consistent in one session, don't trade that session anymore just because you had a few wins in it. Because what ends up happening is you end up having to make it back in the session that you're most consistent in. And it's just really something to take into consideration. Your sanity and your health is more important than trying to make an extra 2 or 3% in a session. I went through that my first 2 years of trading every session. At one point I was a zombie. It didn't make any sense. The money that I was making, it was killing my health. I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't doing things right. And as soon as I was able to just focus on one session and do that, it became it became very, very, very easy for me afterwards to focus on one session and be more profitable than, say, 3 sessions combined. What program do you use to collect that data? Well, that's you trading and you taking all the data that you have and basically plugging it into variables. Where do your wins come from? Where do your losses come from? What pairs are you winning the most on? What pairs are you losing the most on? What time of day? How long are you holding trades? Like, you can build a whole engine of data points based on variables that you want to use. As a back tester, what you do is you look at variables. You say to yourself, okay, how many times have I won in the Asian session? How many times have I won in North American? How many times have I won in London? That's the first data point. How many times have I taken a loss? Then what pairs have I won the most with? What pairs have I lost the most with? Then what times have I lost the most with? And what times have I won the most with? Then what is the percentage of my wins based on duration of trade? So, if I hold my trades for 10 minutes, am I more profitable than holding my trades for 20 minutes? You can start putting that information in, and you keep plugging in variables, and the more variables you plug in, the better off you're going to have in terms of your results, because you're going to see all those little things. Like, when I back test, I don't necessarily do simulation. I look at all my statistics. Where have my biggest wins come from? Where my biggest losses come from? Why did I take those wins? Why did I take those losses? What did market structure look like? What were the news events? What were all those variables in the trade to make it that successful? Like, we look at GJ here. Why was GJ successful? Okay, London, New York rollover, New York session open, things of that nature. We had a continuous bearish trend. The last 2 days were bearish. We have support at this level. We're driving to this point. Like, those are all those things that you should be putting in to give yourself an opportunity to win at that point.
How is all this realistic with a full-time job and family? Well, you decide what time is going to work for you. Like, so when I first started, I was working full-time. I had a family as well, and the only time I had to trade was in the morning from like 5:30 to like 8:30, and then I'd go to my job, and that was it. Right, so you need to pick the time that's going to work for you. Like, what time are you going to be free to look at the charts? Like, sometimes guys say, oh, like, what, I have a job and a family, and I want to look at the charts all day long. That's actually not good for you as well, because you need to be only looking at the charts for about, like, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours maximum 4 hours. And that's me saying from my experience. Like, more than 4 or 5 hours, that's very detrimental to your experience as well. Are you excited for the new 6ix9ine Nicki Minaj video? Yes, he's going live in 2 hours. So I'm going to be in that live, 6ix9ine. So I'm going to watch that too.
Fanboy.
Man, you guys can hate all you want, but he is doing numbers.
That's true.
He's doing, everyone said he's going to be, he's just gonna like feather away when he comes back. No, man, he came back, dropped the biggest numbers on his video. Nicki Minaj went over to him, did a video. I mean, man, that's
Can we not market 6ix9ine on the YouTube stream? We got like 2,000 people here. Come on.
I can relate to 6ix9ine a lot because there are people who come on the live stream expecting us to lose every day.
I'm mad. I'm mad.
I'm mad. I'm mad. You're mad.
Every
He's
day,
mad.
bro. Every day.
He's mad. What?
You should build the magic keys with 6 9 colors.
With a 6ix9ine signature on the back, right
Oh
here.
man. When I heard that on TikTok, I was like, who is this guy? And then I looked, I'm like, this is the guy Raja listens to. I was like,
Exactly,
holy
man. I
shit.
know, Raja, man.
Like, oh my god.
Man, if we were winning here every day, I'd be mad too, you know. Oh man.
That's where Roger get all his trolling skills from.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, look at gold. I mean, news came
Yeah.
good, gold boom up.
But it was good because what we talked about, once again earlier on in the stream, if you look at the hour charts with gold, we talked about this, right? So you had this candle here, which we didn't have real confirmation that gold was going to move up, but because now we considered this a zone that we didn't break through. And remember, we talked about this. This is exactly what I spoke about earlier. If you go watch the replay, is I said this is your zone, right? And we said that this candle was forming bullish and we didn't know for sure. But then what did we want? We wanted a candle to leave that zone, which was, right over here, this candle right here. And you can see that was an easy trade to push further up. So if you go back and you watch the replay of today's stream earlier on, around like the 7:30, the 8 o'clock a.m. mark on the stream, you'll see we spoke about this exact movement and how you would capitalize on that. In other words, if we were going down, we would have a rejection and then we would pull. But if we were going up, we would need a candle out of this zone. So we would need to see the candle out of the zone, and your candle is here. And then this candle was your perfect candle. Why? Because we had a rejection from the downside to then push further up.
Yeah, I think it looks like we had a pretty good day here today. Stress-free day today. Didn't take a trade here today. Look, price came down here and boom, bounced up. How big was this bounce? This was 25 pip bounce. I'm old enough to do a lot of grown-up things. That's how old I am. I'm 33. I think the older, I don't know about you guys, but like the older I get, I keep forgetting how old I'm getting. I had to go to the calculator and I had to subtract 1987 from 2020 to figure out how old I was, because I was confused whether I would turn 31, 32, turned out to be 33. I'm like, oh shit. This chat made the one rule, never go full art hard. Yes. Do you feel old with 32? Actually, no. I feel pretty young being 33. Really, really young. I mean, when I was in my 20s, I would think, oh, someone in their 30s, they're pretty old. But I think it's all to do with where you are in life generally. I mean, if you look at Hervin, he's in his 50s and he's pretty young. I mean, if you hung out and
Come on, brother.
he's pretty young. He's pretty young at heart.
I'm in my 40s, man.
Oh yeah. See, you can never tell he's in his 40s. Like,
Yeah, man. Roger looks older than me.
oh man, when we met Kevon, like, yo, Kevon, you look really young.
Oh yeah, you remember
Kavan is-
the steak restaurant in Miami?
Yeah.
The Salt
Yeah,
Bay?
Kavan was 21 when we met him.
No way.
This channel live on Fridays. Yes, we go live every day, Monday to Friday. Had a little technical issue on Monday, so that didn't happen.
Roger, just pay one of the guys from Geek Squad, man.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. So when I bought the parts, and I knew I've never done this before, like this whole installation and stuff. So I asked the guy, I'm like, how much would it cost? He's like, it's gonna cost like $250. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, if he can do it, I'm pretty sure I can do it too. It shouldn't be that hard. It took me a whole day to do it, 24 hours, but I got it done. And
Wasn't like a day and a half.
yeah, but like once I got it done, I figured out that this wasn't worth $250. I mean, now I can do the same thing in literally 15 minutes. It's just
Okay, okay.
yeah, it's just a first time. First time is a little bit of a hassle, but once you get it done, you're like, ah man, I can do it. Like I can build PCs now for people if they want. I had a winning trade before the Zoom session, but when I took the trade, I felt my heart racing. I was very nervous. Is that something which changes with experience? Yes. Yes, that changes with experience. At the same time, I think you should mentally just keep telling yourself, once you're in the trade, you should keep on telling yourself that, okay, what's the worst that can happen? When you keep telling yourself the worst that's going to happen is that you will lose X amount of dollars, after time with experience, you start to really accept that and your heart stops racing. So that's something that changes with time.
Or too much size. Also, if your heart's racing, maybe you have on too much size and you're not comfortable with the size.
Yeah, or you're just too excited that, oh shit, I'm gonna win this trade, I'm gonna win this trade. But I always tell myself, okay, if this goes against me, what's my downside? You know, what's my exposure? What's my liability? It's like when you file your taxes, right? You file your taxes, you always think to yourself, okay, what can the CRA come back with? You know, what can they point out? So those liabilities you're always keeping in mind. Always talk to yourself too. I always talk to myself when I'm taking trades. Like the commentary I do here is the same kind of commentary I do with myself when I'm trading alone. I think GJ is going down to 134,700. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's pulling up to do like a minor retracement or whatever. Oh, it's 920. All right, I gotta go, everyone. It was a pleasure spending this time with you, watching GJ die down to this area here.
Hey, Raja, take
Is it
care, my
on?
friend.
It's
Be
like
good.
it's like the Titanic is sinking. It was a pleasure, everybody.
Take it easy.
Take care, bro.
Take care, everybody.